Hey y'all, it's me. Listen, it's episode 30, and I am actually in Richmond, Virginia right now. So I came home this weekend to be here for my cousin's baby shower. So I wanted to make sure that I got on here to encourage you all. You know how we do, right? This is what we do. We grow to glow. And I'm so excited because, man, listen, God is just good and he's just been doing it. I don't know about y'all, man, but listen, God has really been testing me with this faith thing. And I'm just constantly reminded of faith. And so tonight, man, I wanted to talk to you all about tapping into faith. Tap into your faith. Um, Whatever that looks like, whatever you're believing God for, tap into it. And the only way that you're going to be able to tap into it is if you renew your mind. We have to change the way that we think, right? First, we have to be able to receive what it is that God is trying to tell us, right? Because God may be trying to use, whether or not if it's people, whether or not if it's your kids, whether or not if it's the TV, whether or not, whatever it is, man, God has been unctioning you and trying to show you exactly what it is that he wants to do in your life, right? And a lot of times, man, we are asking God, what is it that I need to do? God, how do I execute this thing? Right? We're believing God for some things, right? Because we voiced it to him. But then do we really believe that he is able to carry it out? We just expect for him to just give it to us. And I think sometimes when we forget that we still have to do work, right? It still takes us to do our part. Like God's part is guaranteed. So if we look at the bigger picture, right, with the faith that we have, we must be open to really being able to receive what it is that he has for us. But the only way that we're going to be able to even receive it, right, is if we change our mindset. So even with our mindsets and even with our thoughts, right? Because a lot of times we just believe that, we just like, God, I'm just believing and trusting that you're gonna give me this house. God, I'm trusting and believing that you're gonna give me this husband. God, I'm trusting and believing that you're gonna give me these kids. I'm trusting and believing that you're gonna give me this new career, this job, that you're gonna open up doors for me. But yet we have not done the work, that we have not actually gone out and put in resumes, right? How do I expect to receive the job, right, when I haven't even done a resume in a long time? And or maybe I'm not even positioning myself to even go out to networking events, right? Sometimes you have to be visible. So that's what I'm saying. We have to change our mindsets of just not receiving and just believing that God is just going to do it, right? But we also got to make sure that we are walking in him, because we are one in him. And the reality is, right, is that if we don't have the faith, right, that he's given us, because he's given each and every single one of us the faith of a mustard seed. When we decided to give our lives over to him, he gave us that faith of a mustard seed. If we can truly believe that and truly receive that faith of mustard seed, right, then it can also grow. And I talked about this before in one of the podcast episodes before this, where we were talking about the mustard seed growing from uh, the smallest, the tiniest seed, which is the mustard seed, right? But then also increasing that to the size of a meatball, or the size of a nickel, or the size of a quarter, or the size of a watermelon. Like, I want to be able to shake the universe with my faith. And so the reality is, right, is that what I'm learning is I can't just be out here just asking God for different things. I can't be out here just asking him, God, I just need you to give me this. God, I want the house. God, I want the car. God, but I have to prepare myself to be able to receive these things. And I have to also show him. Once I begin to prepare myself to receive these things, right? Not only do I prepare myself, but I become it. Like, I become a second car owner, right? And so I can't be out here just with my one car, right? But I also have to prepare my finances. I have to show God, that I trust you with this. I have to remind him of who he is to me, right? And the same thing with you. We got to remind God of who he is to us. And I think that goes right back into, again, tapping into our faith, because without faith, right, we can't please God. Without faith, like, we wouldn't even really have our relationship with God without faith, because we can't see it, but we know that he's there. We know that God is taking care of us. And it's just like us getting in the car, literally, right? And we're believing that we're going to get to our destination. and we make it to the destination, that is faith in action. That means that you're getting in the car, you're cutting the car on, and you're believing that you're going to get to your destination safely. That is faith. God wants you to do the same thing when it pertains to those things that it is that you desire for him. And if you don't have a necessarily a desire for some things, or you don't have, you don't feel like you have a purpose, right? You can sit there and you can ask God, God, what is it that you have for me to do? God, how do you want me to live this thing? What do you want me to live out? What is something, God, that you know that I desire, right? But maybe it hasn't come into fruition yet. Like, God wants things for you. God says that he knows the plans that he has for us. He knows the plans. And the reality is, right, is that our mindset has to be able to receive the plans that it is that he has for our lives. A lot of times we're not even trying to accept the plans that God has for our lives. We ask God for his desires. We get so caught up in what we want. But we have to ask God, God, what is it that you want? Do these things even line up with what you want for me to have? Like, what are some things, God, that you would like for me to obtain in this world? But I want to also make sure that you're getting the glory out of the situation. And so our faith begins to be stretched, because sometimes we don't see the things happening when we want them to happen. So because we don't see the things happening in the way that we want them to happen, right? We get frustrated. I don't know about y'all, but listen, I'm talking to myself, y'all. When I'm talking to y'all, listen, we get frustrated. We want to just give up, right? And it can take a toll on us sometimes, because sometimes we focus so much on the promise that we miss out on the one who's keeping the promise keeper. And God says, I don't want you to get so focused on the promises, right, that I have for you, that you forget about me, the promise keeper, because I'm the one that's keeping you. I'm the one that's moving you forward. But I also want you to know that I'm watching you. You need to show me your faith. You need to show me that you're ready to receive this. You need to show me that you are a mother. You need to show me that you are a singer. You need to show me, right, that you are a boss lady. Because I can boss you up. I can have people come across you today or tomorrow. Man, God does what he wants to do when he wants to do it and how he wants to do it. Y'all, I'm telling you, but you got to position yourself. And we was just talking about this last week. We could be in the right place. We could be in the right place, but are we in position? Are we in position to get ready to receive what it is that he has for us? Like, are we even open to receiving what it is that he has for us? Because sometimes we look at what it is and we're just like, nah, that can't be it. No, God couldn't use them to bless me. And God can use anybody to bless you. Not only can he use anybody to bless you, right? But he will give you, right, confirmation, affirmation of who you are. And sometimes he'll use an unlikely source. And some of us missing out on our blessings now because of what they look like or what it sound like. Oh, I'm not attracted to that, so I don't think that can't be God. Faith comes by hearing. It doesn't come by seeing, it comes by hearing. So I'm telling you, like, and I had to challenge myself with this thing, right? Because I want some things, right? I want to obtain some things. I want me another car. And so I'm thankful for the car that God has given me, right? But I'm learning to be a good steward of what he's already given me. But I'm also showing him that I'm ready for another car, right? I'm showing him, okay, God, here go my finances. Let me start giving to the church more than what I'm giving. Let me stop being stingy with the things that you've given me, because I want to make sure that I'm making room for what it is that you have for me. I don't want to store these things up. I don't want to be like the man with the one talent and bury it. I want to literally bring bring forth glory to you. And I want to make sure that people understand that only you could have gotten me here. You see what I'm saying? So it's a growing thing, right? But in order for us to tap into our faith, we have to be able to spend time with God. But if we're not spending time with God, how in the world do we even expect how do we expect to receive the things that it is that he's trying to show us? Like, we can't even receive the faith in action. We can't even move forward with the faith of action because we don't even know how to move. I'm just saying. Like, we're not even in position to even receive what it is that he's trying to take us to that next level of faith. Like some of us don't even have the faith of a mustard seed. We done just got so comfortable with the mustard seed that we'd have buried the mustard seed. So you walking around here just living, not even really living, but you dead on the inside. You just out here doing what the world do, what the world says, and how the world says it, right? And what the world wants. Listen, God says, I don't have that life for you. God says, I know the plans that I have for you, but in order for you to even know the plans that I have for you, and He says that He is not trying to harm you. Like these things are not going to hinder you. I have plans for your life, but all I need is your yes. All I need is your yes. And guess what? You get this mustard seed. You receive this mustard seed of faith. And this is all you need to actually cast down mountains. These are things like, listen, it's some hurdles in your life. It's some things that you may be going through right now, even now in this season. And it's seasonal. I promise you it's seasonal because it's not going to last and it's not going to take you out. Listen, some things that were supposed to take you out, sis, some things that were supposed to take you out, bro, did not take you out. And it didn't take you out for a reason. That's because God has something on your life. That's why He wants you to tap into your faith. He wants to elevate you. He wants to take you to another level, but He can't take you to another level because you're not spending time with Him. He can't take you to another level because you're looking for Him to just go ahead and just make it appear, but you're not putting in no work. And then you get mad when you see other people being blessed, receiving the blessings that God has for them. Right. And God says you can obtain those things too. But you can't because you don't spend time with Him in order to get the instructions. Right. And then on top of that, you not putting in work like she putting in work. You not doing and making the sacrifices that he or she made. And you getting mad and you feeling some type of way. No. So that's why God says, listen, I need you to tap into your faith. Are you trusting me or are you going to believe in what the doctors say? Listen, I'm going to tell you what. Listen, the doctors will tell you all day long, you can't have no kids. Why you can't? Who says so? God says, I have the final say. You'd have just received exactly what the doctor told you. And now you'd have got all in your feelings. And this is what the enemy wants. He wants you to get so caught up in your emotions and it swallows you and it takes you over and it consumes you. And you're no longer joyful. You no longer have peace. You've isolated yourself. You don't want to be around people and you begin to feel even worse for yourself. This is what he wants to do. He wants to isolate you and make you feel like you're the only one. I promise you there are people that are going through the same thing. But listen, when you begin to have and tap into your faith, God will begin to show you another route. Whether or not if it's you carrying your child biologically, whether or not if it's a surrogate, maybe God will bless you and allow you to have, to be able to afford a surrogate. We just don't know how God is going to do it. Maybe He even gives you an opportunity to be able to adopt, but we won't know that because what happens is you done got so caught up in your feelings that you haven't even shown God that you trust Him right at His word. Because see, when God makes you a promise, this thing is personal, y'all. This thing becomes personal. It ain't about your mama relationship. It ain't about your daddy relationship. It ain't about nobody else's relationship. This is why I say you got to tap into faith. You got to tap into faith. Because if you don't tap into faith and that mustard seed ain't growing, then you got some more evaluation to do. You got to show God that you trust Him. Even though you don't have that child right now, I dare you to dress up that room. Yep, you got an extra room in your house. Dress that room up. Put that crib up in there, honey. People may think that you crazy. People will be like, oh, she going crazy. She doing all these different things. But God will provide. Listen. And I sit here and I think about Abraham. And I think about his son. And his son didn't even know that his dad was literally about to sacrifice him because of the faith that he had in God. Because of the faith that Abraham had in God, he knew that God was going to see him through this thing. And his son is like, well, Dad, where is the sacrifice? And all Abraham could do was say, God will provide. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but that thing set me free. Okay. When God will provide. Listen, I got faith enough, right? And Abraham said, I got faith enough to just believe that God will provide. And even though you told me to sacrifice my son, listen, I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm gonna go ahead on and just trust that you know what's best, God. Because listen, Abraham literally was getting ready to sacrifice his son. Okay. And God said, wait a minute, hold on, Abraham. No, no, no. I now see that you love me more. And this is what God wants us to do. He wants us to love him because he's the promise keeper. We can't be focused on the things that it is that we want all the time and not expect for us to do the work. We have to show God that we love him. We have to show God that we need him. We have to show God that we're believing that it's ours already. Because guess what? Can't nobody take away what God has already given you. Yes, yes, we got to pray and move like it's already ours, T. Yes, girl, we got to pray and move like it's already ours because it's ours. Like it's ours, but it's for his glory. And that's the beautiful part about God is that God is like, listen, you're giving me the glory. You're giving me the glory and it's already yours. What are some things that you want today? What are some things that you're believing God for? Are you believing God for that new house? Are you believing God for that husband? But you like to sleep in the middle of the bed. Ouch. That's me. I like to sleep in the middle of the bed. I like to sleep in the middle of the bed. Toya, you ain't got no closet room up in here. Look at the closet space up in here. You got all of this closet for yourself. If you don't move some of this stuff out, how in the world am I supposed to get you ready for your husband when you ain't acting? It don't look like you ready for him. It don't look like this is what you want. You say this is what you want. You see what I'm saying? But are you showing me that this is what you want? So now, y'all, I've gotten to a place where I've just been like, look, listen, I'm gonna put some flip-flops on the side of that bed. I'd have cleaned out half of that closet because I'm like, God, listen, yeah, you're right. Let me walk by faith and not by sight. Let me go ahead and feed my faith. Let me go ahead and put this faith into action because I'm trusting you. I'm trusting that you're going to bring him to me. I'm trusting that you're going to add to me. I'm trusting it. I'm gonna fix the other room up and make it a kid's room. I'm just already gonna believe you for these things. And y'all, it looks crazy, and it's only crazy until it happens. And then what people gonna say? They call you crazy anyway. So you might as well just go ahead on and be it. Listen, I'm telling you, listen, I will rather, okay, be a fool for the Lord instead of being a fool for me or being a fool for man. I tell you that. Because listen, man can't take you where God can. And God wants to bless you. God wants to really restore you. Not only does he want to restore you, but he wants to make sure that you have every single thing that it is that you need. So he wants you to tap into your faith. Y'all, some of us still holding on to this little thing of faith. And God's trying to elevate that faith. And do you not understand that you are a beacon of light for a lot of people that are around you? Some people don't even care too much for you, but you're still a beacon of light for them. You're still a hope, a living hope for them. Like the things that you've been through, honey, that won't for you. Oh, so you thought that was for you? Oh yeah, honey, that wasn't for you. That was for your people. That was for your tribe. That was for those people that needed to see that there was somebody that was going through just like they was going through. And y'all, this is how we glean on each other. This is how we grow because we're not keeping it to ourselves, right? Like when you know that you should have been dead and gone, and you know it won't nobody but God that got you through it. Like, listen, I get people all the time like, "Dang, where you changing?" And I have. I've evolved, right? And I'm still evolving. I'm still growing. But this is what we got to do. We got to make sure that we're tapping into our faith and we're showing God that we want to be the best version of ourselves. Like, God, I want to be better. So God will begin to hold you accountable to those things. He will begin to have people call you out. Listen, I be going through it now. I'm like, God, I want to be accountable. And God says, okay, so you really want to grow. Okay, well, let's tap into that. Let's tap into this faith. I'm believing that God is going to create me to be the most mature person that I can be. But with maturity comes a lot of growth. And it's a lot of uncomfortable Things are not comfortable. People just calling you out. What? Criticizing you, and you just taking it. You learning patience. You see what I'm saying? And so y'all, I don't know about y'all, but listen, I want all of the things that God have for me down here. I want them all. I don't know about y'all. I want them all. And I want to give him the glory for it though. I want him to receive. I want him to have the glory. I want him to be able to just be able to love on me, right? And I want to be able to love on him. And I'm just like, God, I have faith to believe that you working this thing out already. I got faith to believe. And sometimes, y'all, we got to just show God. That's what I'm telling you. We got to tap in. We got to show him that we trust him. We got to show him that we believe that God's your word. I'm believing in what you're saying. I'm not believing in what the world's telling me. I'm not believing in what my mama said or who my dad. I can't believe what my mama, my daddy, or anybody that told me who you are, because this thing is personal. If you don't know God for yourself, baby, you doing yourself injustice for real, because you got to really know who he is. And if you don't really know who he is, how in the world do you even begin to know who you are? Because if you don't know who you are, that means that you fall for anything. That means that you will get so caught up and so wrapped up in your own feelings, right? That your faith just gonna continue to stay stagnant. You're gonna continue to have that mustard seed. And maybe the mustard seed, even the mustard seed sometimes, right? Even though you have the mustard seed, you done buried the mustard seed. You done forgot all about the mustard seed. You done forgot that you even had the mustard seed. Some of us got to go back to the beginning of when we received the when we received the mustard seed. Listen, God says, I gave you that mustard seed of faith. I gave it to you. What did you do with it? Have you multiplied it? Have you added on to it? Listen, man, listen. God be out here. Listen, I understand life is life, and man, but God be out here guiding for real. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that God knows best. I'm thankful that God is one of the, he's just so sovereign. He's sovereign. And he loves us just the way we are. But y'all, we got to tap into our faith. So what is some things that you want from God? What are some things that you desire? Right. And I'm saying this because, listen, we got to be serious with this thing. We want to be business owners. Look, write the blueprint. Like, let's go get it. Let's go get it and ask God, God, give me some people. Give me what it is that you have for me, because I'm not really tapped in. I haven't really tapped into this faith when it pertains to the business. I haven't really tapped into the faith when it pertains to the relationships. I haven't tapped in. You want friends, you want girlfriends, you want friends that that hold you accountable. You want iron sharpening iron. You want like-minded people. Start praying and believing that God, and count yourself friendly. Start going out, making yourself seen. You see what I'm saying? Start. Maybe you need to join a church. Pray on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing too. You got to pray on that too. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, because I ain't trying to just join no any church. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't just trying to join no any church. And that was me for a while. But I'm thankful that God allowed me to find a place where I felt like I could be myself and be free. And that's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And shout out to Flowing Life, man, because listen, that's my church family right now. And that's where I'm at in Charlotte. And I feel really good because it's also helping me grow into the person that I am. And so I'm thankful that I'm tapped in. I'm thankful that I'm tapped in with this faith thing, y'all. We got to get this thing together. Listen, this is what we do, right? We hold each other accountable. We hold each other accountable. We grow to glow. Look. Your girl is about to get up off of here. But I love y'all. I thank y'all so much for all your support, all your love. I had to get on here early today because I had another engagement that I have to do. So I know that it's gonna be some people that's gonna watch the replay, and I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much, man. This is what we do, right? We grow to glow. This is what we do. This is what we do. We grow to glow. So I'll see y'all next week. Next week I'm gonna be in North Carolina. I'll be back home. But I just appreciate y'all, man. It's so much. So we're gonna continue to grow, to glow, because this is what we got to do. So tap into that faith. Tap into your faith. Show God that you ready for this thing. Show God that you want it. Show God. Just show him. Just show him. Just shut up and show him. Okay. All right, y'all. Bye.